Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Rose Dragon budget build. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is an amazing deck that uses 3 of the legendary 5D'S decks to make one amazing Rose Dragon deck. And the best part about it is you can play this deck right out of the box. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Rux Rose Dragon. Rux Rose is an amazing 3-of build, one of the best normal summons in the entire deck. Because if this card is normally a special summon, you get to add a card that mentions Black Rose Dragon from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is a great ability to search out the exact cards that we need. Also, while this card is in the graveyard, if a face-up a Rose Dragon monster or a plant synchro monster you control is destroyed by battling my opponent's card effect, you can add this card back to your hand, which is a pretty cool ability to just instantly get this card back from the graveyard to your hand, so you can normal summon it out and use this effect all over again on the follow-up. We then play 3 copies of Red Rose Dragon. Red Rose Dragon is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card helps out so much in the deck. As if this card is sent to the graveyard as a single material, you can actually special summon a Rose Dragon monster from your hand or deck, except another copy of this card. Then, if it was sent to the graveyard as single material for a Black Rose Dragon or a Plant Synchro monster, you can also add a Frozen Rose or a Blooming of the Darkest Rose from your deck to your hand. We then play 3 copies of White Rose Dragon. White Rose Dragon is such a good extender in the build because this card is not a tuner and actually is just insane to play alongside your copy of Red Rose and Rux Rose, with the ability that when this card is normal summon, you can special summon a Rose Dragon monster from your hand or your graveyard, except another copy of this card. And also, if you control a Dragon Tuner or a Plant Tuner, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then this card is sent to the graveyard as a synchro material, you can actually send a level 4 or higher plant monster from your deck to the graveyard. We then play a single copy of Blue Rose Dragon. Blue Rose Dragon is great as a 1-of build. It's just really cool to be able to play all the different Rose Dragons in the main deck. This card is the ability when this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target a Black Rose Dragon or a plant monster in the graveyard and special summon it. We then play 3 copies of Rose Princess. Rose Princess is so good as a 3-of in the build because if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if it's summoned this way, it's treated as a tuner. Also, you can discard this card to add your copy of White Rose Cloister from your deck to your hand, helping us instantly search our field spell. We then play 3 copies of Doppel Warrior. Doppel Warrior is an amazing 3-of in the build that was actually included in the Yugioh deck, but it's really good in this deck because this card has the ability that when a monster is special summoned from the graveyard, you can actually special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is sent to the graveyard as a single material, you can actually special summon 2 Doppel tokens that are Warrior, Dark, level 1, attack 400, and defense 400, and attack position, instantly getting us an additional monster on our side of the field, and being able to turn itself into basically tokens so we can use them for synchro material. We then play a single copy of Revolution Synchron. Revolution Synchron is great in this build as a 1-of, as if you're going to synchro summon a Power Tool Dragon monster or a level 7 or 8 Dragon monster, this card in your hand can also be used as a material, and also if you control a level 7 or higher synchro monster while this card's in the graveyard, you can send the top card of your deck to the grave, and if you do, special summon this card back to your side of the field as a level 1 monster, but it's a once per duel effect. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's an amazing 3-of in the build to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll is definitely a 3-of in the build to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck for the rest of the turn. We then played 3 copies of Molcharmy Fluros. Molcharmy Fluros is definitely a 3-of as well to help us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is definitely a 1 in the build to basically just stop our opponent's hand traps when we're going in for all of our plays. I'm playing a single copy of Synchro Rumble. Synchro Rumble is great in this deck as well, because this card is actually searchable off the Crimson Dragon, and it's basically a monster reborn for this deck. We play a single copy of Frozen Rose. Frozen Rose is definitely a 1-of in the build as well, because this card lets us send a face-up monster that you control to the graveyard and apply the effect depending on the type of the monster it was. If it was a plant, during the end phase, on this turn, draw 2 cards and discard a card, and if it's non-plant monster, you get to add a level 4 or lower plant monster from your deck to your hand. We play a single copy of Black Garden. Black Garden is a really cool combo piece in the deck and helps out a lot in this build, as this card has the ability of a monster is normally special summoned face up, except by the effect of Black Garden, half its attack points, then the controller of that monster special summons 1 Rose token that's a plant dark level 2 with 800 attack and 800 defense to their opponent's side of the field in attack position, and this attack loss remains even if this card leaves the field. Also, you can target a monster in your graveyard with an attack less than the total attack of all plant monsters on the field and destroy this card and as many plant monsters in the field as possible. Then, if you destroyed all of them, you actually get to special summon the targeted monster, which is a pretty cool ability to be able to use. We then play 3 copies of Basil Rose. Basil Rose is so good. I absolutely love this card, and it's such a powerful searchable monster reborn, letting us special summon a Rose Dragon monster from our hand or graveyard in defense position, which is such a cool effect. We then play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets. Droplets is so good in this deck to basically just negate the effects of monsters on our opponent's side of the field and half their attack points, so we can summon out something like a Black Rose Dragon and just board wipe the field, which is so cool to be able to do. And this card is amazing as a 3-of in the deck, and just a really cool board breaker in this build. We then play 3 copies of White Rose Cloister. White Rose Cloister is such an awesome field spell because this card has the ability, if you control no monsters, you can special summon a Rose Dragon monster or a plant monster from your hand, which is great that you don't even have to waste your normal summon to instantly bring out a monster to your side of the field. Also, during your draw phase, before you draw, you can actually declare a type of monster, spell, or trap and reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is the declared type, you apply the effect for the rest of the turn. Level 7 or higher monsters that are synchro monsters you control gain 1,000 attack points, which is a pretty cool ability to help us close out games, and it's very easy to actually call either spells or monsters in the deck, which I usually play actually calling monsters. There's really so many monsters in this build. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just playing 1, and it's going to be a single copy of Blooming of the Darkest Rose. This card is an amazing 1-of in the build that is searchable, which is why I'm playing a single copy in the deck. This card lets us special summon Rose tokens that are plant, dark, level 2, 800 attack, and 800 defense in defense position to either player's field up to the combined number of cards in the field spell zone, and field spells in the graveyards. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can target a Black Rose Dragon or a plant monster in your monster zone and banish it, and if you do, place this card on the bottom of the deck, and during the next standby phase, return that banished monster back to the field, which is a pretty interesting effect to be able to use, but it's also going to help you generate tokens, which is just super cool. So, that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Black Rose Dragon. This card is definitely a 3-of in the build and such an awesome nostalgic card and one of my favorite synchro monsters in the entire game. And we're definitely using the chibi art because it was included in the legendary 5D'S decks. But this card is awesome just to basically help us board wipe the field, and it's a key combo piece in this deck. We then play a single copy of the Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon is great to be able to play because this card helps us search out Synchro Rumble and also helps us tag it out for different Synchro monsters depending on the level of Synchro monsters we have on the field. We then play a single copy of Ruddy Rose Dragon. Ruddy Rose Dragon is great to be able to play as a 1-of because if this card is Synchro Summon, you can banish all cards from the graveyards. Then, if this card was Synchro Summoned using a Black Rose Dragon or a plant Synchro monster as a material, you can destroy all other cards on the field, which is such a cool ability to be able to use to help you just instantly board wipe the field. And when your opponent activates a card or effect that would destroy a card's quick effect, you can tribute this card and negate the activation. Then you can special summon a Black Rose Dragon from your X deck or your graveyard. We can play a single copy of Blackwing Assault Dragon. Blackwing Assault Dragon is really cool to be able to play as one of, because you can actually summon this card off the Crimson Dragon using it with Ruddy Rose Dragon, which is awesome. We then play 2 copies of Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. This card is great to basically just deal with level 5 or higher monsters, and it's a really cool 2-of in the build. We play a single copy of Empress of Blooms. Empress of Blooms is great in this build as 1-of, and I love the fact that they actually rarity bumped this card. And this card gains 400 attack for each plant monster that you control, except this card. And during your main phase, you can special summon a level 5 or higher plant monster from your hand or grave in defense position, except a copy of this card, which is a pretty cool ability. Basically, use this card as a monster reborn. We play a single copy of Splendid Rose. Splendid Rose is a really good option in the build, and I love playing this card as a 1-of in the deck, because once per turn, you can manage a plant monster in the graveyard and then target a face-up monster your opponent controls and half that target's attack until the end of the turn. And during the battle phase, if this card attacks, you can actually banish a plant monster from your graveyard and half this card's attack until the end of the turn. And if you do, this card can make a second attack during this battle phase, which is a pretty cool ability. We then play 2 copies of Garden Rose Maiden. Garden Rose Maiden is great in this build. Basically, use this card to search out your copy of Black Garden, and also you can banish this card from the graveyard to target a Rose Dragon monster or a Dragon Synchro monster in your graveyard and special summon it. We play a single copy of Garden Rose Flora. Garden Rose Flora is just really cool as a 1-of in the build, letting you target 1 card in the field's zone and destroy it, then special summon to its owner's field a Rose token that is a plant dark level 2 with 800 attack and 800 defense in action. Also, you cannot special summon the X check for the rest of the turn, except for Synchro monsters. But this card is just really good to be able to play in the deck. Also, this card is ability once per turn during your opponent's main phase quick effect, you can actually immediate effect results Synchro summon using this card you control, helping you instantly go in for a quick Synchro. And this card is actually a tuner, helping us instantly go in for some awesome plays. We then play 2 copies of Crossroads Dragon. Crossroads Dragon is really cool as a 2-of in the build and just helps us use our copy of Black Rose Dragon more effectively, and just an awesome 2-of in the build. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is ridiculously fun to be able to play. I hope you guys did enjoy all of the budget builds for the legendary 5D'S decks. You guys should definitely check out all of them. I do have one for Synchron and Blackwings as well, which is so cool to actually do. And I also have full powered versions of all 3 decks on the channel, which you guys should definitely check those out as well, because they're really a great watch and will help you guys build a full powered version of Blackwings, Synchron, or even Rose Dragon. So let's do this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come part of notifications. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.